Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is part 2 of modeling our retro toaster. So let's go ahead and continue, and the next step would be to go ahead and smooth this. All right, so again, I like to duplicate things. Make sure you save your work if you haven't saved it already. Let's go ahead and save your work. We're gonna duplicate this so we can always come back to the lowest level as we're working if we need to make adjustments or we find out we really messed up with the shape and all that stuff. But I think we just need to smooth it out, duplicate it, smooth it out, put it in a new layer. So I've got this in a layer called base low. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to duplicate that, Control D, and put that in a new layer and call that new layer high poly. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn off the base low and turn off the high, and you can see now if you made a mistake or something happened where they're both in the base low, what you can do is you can remove each one of those from the base low, and then you can add it again by selecting it and then right clicking and going add selected object, and then you can go into the high poly, select the other one, turn this one off and select the upper one and put that in, add that selected as an object. So you can figure that out and fix it, but we're going to really focus on the high poly now. I'm going to hold down the space bar, go to mesh and smooth, and we're going to smooth this at 2 and smooth it. And you can see we can start now. We can see a hard surface model now of the object. It's no longer smooth. It's actually a higher poly object. Okay. So in here we are basically kind of following what we have with the with the lines. You can see on the top there it's a little bit off, but it's pretty close. I'm going to hit the 3 key, and no matter what we do, you're going to have kind of a issue with this. Even if I go in here and move these around, which I could do, and just kind of finesse this a little bit like that to make it look a little bit better and follow that. I'm going to just ignore that for now. I'm going to hit the 1 key again, get it to the lower resolution. What I'm going to focus on though is the top part here, with where the lines are at, and focusing. These lines match up really well with the bottom, and these lines match up pretty good with the interior. What I'm looking for is adding some subdivisions in here and then tweaking these out. So I think I probably want to do one more pass at high res with this before I start cutting anything out and making changes to this object. But it doesn't really matter what we're going to do here, because we're going to cut the top off. All right, so again, before we do anything, we want to duplicate this. So I'm going to do, so this is a high poly. So I'm going to go Control D again and click another layer, and this layer is going to be called top, or topper. I will just say topper, and then click save. And so that's going to be in its own layer, and that's going to be the high poly. So we're going to work on the topper. We're going to break these two apart, and again, if I make a mistake, I can always go back to the high poly and start from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this face and this face and go all the way across, just like that face and that face. And you can also just paint your way if you want to. Whoops. Paint those on top if you want to. So I'm going to go in here. I can do that too as well. Just click on the paint brush and just paint the top of this and get all of those you need, holding the shift key down. And that will allow us to not select the bottom. We don't want to select the bottom. We're not really modeling the bottom yet. Let's go ahead and just paint that and just kind of go into perspective mode and kind of see what you got. Hit the Q key to get out of that tool. Okay, and then you can see and look at anything else that you may have selected accidentally. And what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of break that away, okay, from the rest of the object. All right. So we're going to hold down the space bar and we're going to go to Edit Mesh and we're looking for Extract. There it is. No, Extrude. Let me get up a little higher. Mesh Tools. Nope, it's here. It's in Edit Mesh. I just need to go down further. Extract. So Edit Mesh, Extract. I'm going to click on that and it's extracted those pieces. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that piece, okay? And because it extracted, it's going to put it at the bottom, the move manipulator. So I'm going to click on the center pivot to the object, right, like that. And I'm going to move it up, just get it out of the way, okay? Just so we can model the rest of this without it being in the way. So I'm just going to move it up. All right, so now I've got this object here. And how do we create this piece that's in the center? It's not hard to do that. It's just you got to understand how this all works because these are actually two separate pieces. They were created with two pieces of sheets of metal. And we've got that interior piece that we've got to kind of recreate. So I'm going to go to edge mode and I'm going to click on this edge all the way around and you double click on it, it goes all the way around. It should anyway. And so I'm just going to do some modeling here. So I'm going to go Control E. I'm going to extrude this and hit the W key and move that down just a smidgen, just like that. And then I'm going to hit the Control E again, Control E. And this time I'm going to move it down a little bit farther, like that. Okay, and I'm going to Control E again, Control E. And I'm going to hit the W key and move it down just a smidgen. So you can see that I've got this kind of edge here. Okay, so I extruded it down again, moved it farther down, hit the W key, and extruded it down again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do Extrude. So Control E again. And this time I am going to go ahead and I can hit the scale key, the R, and just scale it in like this. Just a little bit like that. Scale it in. I'm going to hit the Control E again and the R key again and scale it in. So you can see that I've got these two edges in here, okay, that are kind of conforming to this object. And if I'm going to do it again, Control E and then scale it again one more time from the middle and just give it another just little edge there. So you can see that we've got this edge that goes down and edge that goes in. Now the idea with this is that when I finish this piece up here, I will be able to now take this, okay, this piece I have, and put it on top like a lid. So it'll look just like this when I'm all finished, which will be kind of cool. So I'm done with that. I'm going to hit the Q key, get out of there, click off anywhere, and go into selection mode. So now if I click on this and I hit the 3 key and click off, go into object mode, you can see that I'm going to turn off the wireframe here real quick. You can see how that looks. Now that's a nice high poly model. It looks really good. I like that. So, and this will still fit in there. It's pretty amazing. This will still fit even if I hit the 3 key and I move this down. That will still fit as a lid, which is really cool. It's going to fit as a lid, and you can see that if I go down, like we see here, go down a little bit, it fits within that lip. Okay. We've got a little issue right here, but we can we can fix those things. Okay. So there we go. There's that. That looks good. So we are really close to being done with the shape of this whole thing, and it's looking pretty good. I like what's happening. All right, and we're gonna do the same kind of thing. Give this some thickness and put it on top as a lid. So I'm gonna go to edge mode and go all the way around, and I'm gonna duplicate, or not duplicate, Control E. And I'm going to hit the W key and move that straight down just a little bit like that, just kind of an edge right there, and go Control E again, hit the W key and move it down again, give it a little thicker piece right there. And I think that's good enough for the lid part. Okay. And I'm going to hit the 3 key, and I'm going to move that down and see how that fits on here. And you can see that it's got kind of a little crimping area right here that I'm going to go to vertex mode and select these and move them in a little bit so it's away from that. There we go. That way we have kind of a gap that's around this piece, so we can see that little gap that we have. And you can do that for the entire top part, just selecting these right here and moving those back so it kind of gives us a little bit of a gap there. So let's take a look. So you have a little gap here, and that's gonna make it look a little nicer around. And I'm gonna do that for all the parts on the top here too as well. So I'm gonna kind of move these all in. I've already moved the corner pieces in, so I'm just gonna move those a little bit in like that, and that's gonna give us that look that we want. And do the same thing over here, like that. And so let's go ahead and click off, and let's see how the gap is. And if you want more of a gap, you can add that in there. Just want to add a little bit of a gap there. Okay, to make it look like the toaster has got a piece that was molded and shaped separately from the toaster itself. I could probably go a little bit more with this, and more with this one too as well, making that gap, accentuate the gap a little bit more. There we go. See how that looks. And you can sit there and tweak it out all you want. I just want to see a gap that looks like that piece is fitting on top of it. There we go. And I do see maybe I don't want to do that much right here. You can see how much I've got going on. That one looks pretty good. I think I went too far on this, that side right there. So I'm going to move that back just a little bit more like that. There we go. And see how that looks. And that's still quite a bit more than what I have for the rest of it. And I might want to continue moving that down a little bit more. There we go. That looks better. Okay. So once we get that part done, we can move that back up again off this object like that. And I think that looks pretty good. You can see that we've got two separate parts. Now we got to make the slots on the top for the toaster, and we'll get that in the next video.